Dumb band ready. People are talking.
People are talking.
Talking about people.
Talking about people.
I keep on singing the song.
I keep on singing the song already.
Just a little
Too
too
loud. Run to the little too fast. Speak to the little too slow. Dance just a little too quietly.
Keep on talking. Let's give them
Drive just a little too recklessly. Let's give them
I
talk
don't know any of the words.
How about love?
Love.
How about love?
The only words, the
give
only
them
reason I know
talk, man.
some of the words from that song are because of Step Brothers.
I was going to say, I thought that's what movie that was in.
Yeah.
I guess not from.
Yeah.
So, you want to just talk about Amish people? It seems to be on your mind.
Dude.
Go ahead.
Did you
Go
ever
ahead, jump
answer
right
my
into it.
text?
No, because I was waiting. I was waiting for this moment.
So,
It was a very... Can I just read it?
mhm.
Okay, let me pull it up, because it was a funny text, unexpected. Let's see here. He texted me last night, or just yesterday, 5:30 p.m. Number one on my mind going into tomorrow. I can't believe that Amish people still exist. Think on that for a night. It'll mess you up. I don't think that it will, Matthew. Just last week, I had 2 Amish teenagers do the roof on my garage. They gave me a whole new metal roof.
We got to talk. We do got to talk garage. But
I can't tell that. I can't tell the. I can't. It's too. I can't tell that. What I will eventually, but it's too soon to talk about that right now.
So, I first and foremost, as I was coming here today, I was thinking like, I know Andrew's going to bring up the Amish thing, and I want to make
because
sure.
you texted me that you.
I know, but then I was
you wanna
thinking
talk
about it that I don't want. I mean no offense to no disrespect to the Amish people. I'm not trying to slander them, and I don't remember what caused it to be on my mind, but I actually kind of do. I actually totally do now.
Okay,
so
great.
I was listening to. Sorry, my brain's not all the way there yet. We jumped right into it today. There was
Sorry.
no. It was a good thing, but there was no. We got the.
I like it.
First
I like it a little
first
bit
day
sloppy.
with the new mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to the Part of My Take podcast, and Henry Lockwood went as an Amish person for Halloween, and they were like talking about that whole thing.
That's disrespectful.
And my brain started cooking on the whole Amish thing because they were like, did you like say anything? They're like, how do you go as an Amish person? He was like, yeah, we're just walking around telling people we're on Rumspringa. And I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it, like, in the age that we live in today, being Amish and then going on Rumspringa, 1, has to be insane, and 2, do you think that the majority of people that are Amish that go on Rumspringa and then go back to being Amish do so just because, like, they're like, yeah, I'm Amish, like, my family's not, like as opposed to being, like, they're like, I kind of would like to be one of the people that doesn't come back from Rumspringa, but I feel like I gotta go back. Because, like, I don't have a good example of what was, like, how my brain is processing it, but, like, phones in general, social media, like, how we spend our time, like, maybe it's overwhelming for people that have, were raised Amish, and that's why they're like, no, it was fine for a week, but, like, I'm going back. But, like, their brains just have to be wired so much differently than ours because we are just in the, the information age. We're like, bang, 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 things are coming at us. Twitter, I'm just all the time. It's a bukkake of information constantly. And they're just still waiting for the newspaper. Like, that's they're 2-3 days behind.
No, they're printing
on
their
everything.
own. They're printing their
That's
own.
what I mean.
newspapers.
Again,
I mean, you're not 2 days behind. You're a couple hours behind, maybe.
No,
maybe you're
dude.
a day behind. You're probably a day behind.
Yeah, and a day behind in this age, in this day and age, is a month. You're a month behind.
But I guess not if. I mean,
Like,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Think
Go
about
ahead.
think about this.
I'm thinking.
Today we're recording on a Tuesday, November 4th. It was the NFL trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
Like at first my thought was like trade deadline days in any professional sport is like constant like if you're a sports fan, you're checking Twitter or X, the everything app, all day long for insiders to be leaking information and seeing trade reports come out and stuff like that. It's all happening so live, and I'm thinking like they just don't get that. But then I'm thinking like, well, yeah, because they don't sit down on their couch every Sunday and watch the NFL.
I mean, listen, even from my perspective, like I have access to that information. But does it make a difference in my life whether I know?
But there is stuff that makes
gonna...
But there is stuff that's pertinent to you, like breaking news that you'll see when it happens. You'll get notifications. You'll get.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you put that in perspective, and like something in my world, like the absolute Batman annual #1 is coming out, like. It doesn't really make that much of a difference if I learn it the second it happens or if I learn it 2 days after.
What about like a comic goes for sale? Like that's what I'm saying. Your hobbies are non-existent to them. Like not technically because they can read. They could read comics.
I don't think they're allowed to read comics.
Why?
Because they're the devil's pictures.
But so this gets more into the weeds when I'm talking about like.
But they're just existing differently, you know.
Yeah, I know,
just
but they're
different.
living in the modern age, like, and again, I'm not trying to make them. I'm not trying to be offensive with Amish people, but they're living amongst us, essentially, right? Like, they are. Like, especially when
they look
live,
just
like
you
drive.
and me. They look just
you
like
drive,
you and me.
Into the southern tier a little bit, and like, there's just Amish people.
Yep, pies for sale, side of the road.
That's what, and it's just such. 50 years ago, there was a difference between Amish people and non-Amish people, right? Cars and electricity and stuff like that. The difference now between being Amish and not being Amish is like you are living in an entirely different world.
Yeah, but it's because your world's the same. I know it seems like there's a big difference now to us between 1974 and 2025, and there is, but to them it's not different.
I know, but that's
like they're not missing out on stuff.
That's why I brought up the Rumspringa thing, because in that week that you go on Rumspringa, you are finding out like
I think you can go for longer than
whatever it is. In the time period that you're spending on Rumspringa, you are finding out
who's getting drafted.
Just this whole other land, like just world-changing stuff.
Well, it's not like the Amish are
they
entirely.
Don't know that it exists. I know they know.
No. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're an entirely secluded community. Like, I spoke on the phone to an Amish guy to get the setup for my roof.
Can I tell you
somebody else's phone, but what?
That's what I mean. Like, that Amish people can't have phones.
Like, but they know stuff. Like, they can, talk to non-Amish people. Like Adam McKay, who directed Anchorman, he tells a story about they were filming something in an Amish community, and when they cut, all the kind of Amish kids came up to him and were like, "We've seen Anchorman, we love it." Like, it's out there. Like
that's what I'm. So
if you're dedicating
so we're talking
your
about
life,
a crossbreed of Amish people here, then.
No,
because we had an aunt, and the Amish kids used to come over and watch their TV sometimes. Remember?
Yeah. As long as you're
that's
still,
not Amish.
No, look, Amish, you're still committing to a life of Amishness, and you don't own that TV. You're still you're not moving.
There's still such a this is I think a perfect example of what I mean, and that's why I'm saying I can't explain how my head is wrapped around this right now. But even that's a perfect example. Like, yes, those kids knew that Anchorman, they'd seen Anchorman, but like. I don't know how an Amish person can comprehend this if they've never used it.
What do you mean?
Like, to its full capabilities.
It's not like they're time travelers.
But they can't
they know what an iPhone is.
I know, but they can't.
But they can watch somebody use it, go, what the heck is that, an iPhone? And then you just
I know, but
boop, boop,
like,
they get it.
But they maybe understand an iPhone like somebody's like 85-year-old grandma understands an iPhone.
Okay. I mean, which
They don't know the true power of this box. Think about.
Do you know the true power of the box?
No, but exactly, and I use it like 6 hours
So what's the
a
difference
day.
between you and an Amish guy? Just your butter tastes a little different. That's all it is, brother. You
You're
know what?
not-
At the end of the day, it's just different strokes for different folks.
It's so aggravating to me that you didn't do what I asked you to do leading into this conversation.
Which was think about Amish people? Because I
Sleep
think I
on it.
didn't need to. I didn't need to.
Okay, it's kind of like the camera.
How do Amish
conversation.
people exist? They just
No,
do.
because exactly.
Different strokes for different folks,
But this
man.
is
Different
this is
churns
exactly
for
what I'm
different
trying to say is
butters.
you're okay with just saying, "Hey, Amish people exist differently than we do."
Yeah.
My brain is trying to understand all of it, right? Like,
Right. Because
it goes
usually
back
you're
to
very against people who are different from you. That's something that we've established on the pod.
This is exactly why I'm saying you are not thinking of it the way that I asked you to think of it.
Folks, there's so much going on. You've got so much on your plate. Why take up more of your time with little things like having to go to the grocery store, my personal least favorite? I've started getting my groceries delivered, and it has changed everything for me. I am genuinely more happy of a person not having to deal with going through those aisles, people just running into other things with their carts, like people not looking each other in the eye. I really hate the grocery store, and the parking lots, forget about that. The great news is Instacart exists. And you might not know this, but you can get more than just groceries on Instacart. You can also get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour, boy. But the best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link in this episode description. Start taking things off your plate and putting different things on your plate. It's a food delivery joke. It's not really a joke. It was just kind of a thing I said. The point is this. Make your life a little easier with Instacart. Hit the link in this episode description. Get that deal and start using Instacart today. Listen, like I said, you've been working hard. And I think you deserve to treat yourself. And there's no better way to do that than to check out all the great stuff we've got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. We've got more than just clothes. But let me say this. The clothes, they're going to make you look good and make you feel good. Okay, this is not some cheap, weird, like that Gildan brand and it fits disgusting. This is like, you're going to want to wear this stuff. It's super comfortable. The t-shirts especially. I'm talking tri-blend material. That's 3 kinds of material. That's Target quality, folks. But we've also got mugs and pint glasses and bucket hats and baseball hats, slides, notebooks, fanny packs, all made to order. So again, get yourself something nice and check it out over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Link is also, of course, going to be in this episode description. Check it out. And if you're interested in advertising on this show, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. You know, man, the podcast advertising, it feels like it gets bigger every week. Every week I listen to, my regular roster of podcasts, and it's like, Chevy is doing ads on podcasts now. Oh, Nissan's doing ads on podcasts now, like car companies, but not just them. McDonald's, State Farm, like massive brands that have massive ad budgets that do big commercials on the Super Bowl every year and all this stuff, and it's very cool. I mean, I can't think of anything in my lifetime that has created its own space for advertising in the realm of like television, newspaper, but now podcasts are right there with them, and that's only going to get bigger, and that's really cool. The problem is there's not really any room for smaller or local businesses to get in on the action. At least they haven't yet. But the good news is that's what we're here for, all right? That's what we're all about. So again, if you're interested in learning more about all the benefits to podcast advertising and what it can do for you, hit us up, reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com.
It's like the camera conversation. Do you remember the camera conversation? Like
when you were like, how does a camera work?
Yeah, like cameras don't make any fucking sense to me. Like, how does it, just through light refraction, take a fucking thing and just capture it and
But
try
dude,
to understand
you know what?
it, Andy.
All of your fascinations with these things that you are struggling to put into words. It all comes down to Santa Claus, frankly. It's all believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. The fact is, in a world where Tim Allen Santa Claus exists, a.k.a. our universe, you don't have to understand how a camera works. But it does work, and there is somebody, the people making the cameras do understand how they work. The people who are Amish understand being Amish.
I know. They understand being Amish, and that's what I'm saying is, what is their perception of, like, that's what I'm trying to, again, what is their perception of the way that non-Amish people live? That's what I'm saying when I'm saying, like, they don't, when I'm comparing it to, like, an elderly person getting an iPhone from their children to keep in touch, whatever the case may be,
Whatever old people use phones
like,
for.
How do you...
Looking up pictures of FDR.
So, a true to form Amish.
A true
and
Amish.
You're using,
a pure blood Amish.
You're using no technology. Even to your point, if, yes, they're using their neighbor's phone to talk to, or whatever, or using...
Well, you got to do that, because that's a big way they make money, right? Is to build things for us English.
But that is the smallest possible percentile understanding of, like, how technology works and how it operates. Even if they see somebody using a phone, if they see somebody using an iPhone, and you're like, oh yeah, this is my iPhone, like, I can call, text, email, I can go on the internet, I can go on social media. Like, even the internet, and the internet's been around for a long time, obviously.
Yeah. Amish people know what the internet is.
I know they know what it is, Andy, but how do they understand? It's not. No, you're actually starting to piss me off. I'm not
sorry,
kidding.
I'm trying to understand.
No, you're not trying to understand. You're looking at it as everything that I'm saying is trying to find a point to be like, oh, he's being dumb.
Okay, no. All right.
How do Amish
slow
people,
down.
What is? I'm trying. Like, when I was thinking about this last night, and now again, it's just sounding like a stupid rant. But explain to me, like, I would love to know an Amish person's understanding of the internet. Like, what do they?
Okay.
Right? Because
got it.
What do they think goes on the internet?
Probably porn.
Which is definitely part of what goes on the internet.
A big part of it.
Yeah, but
a
think
big
about
throbbing part of the internet. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. You're closed-minded, and you're trying to pin it as me being dumb.
I hear what you're saying now more than I did a few minutes ago. That joke wasn't at your expense, Matthew.
I know, but does that not make sense, though? Like, that's why I said think on it. It'll fuck you up. Because the way that we live our daily lives and we revolve around technology and information, like, everything that we do is based on technology and information.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't have that. And yes, they have minor ways to, they have loopholes to access it, but not to its full capabilities. So what is their understanding of it? And that's why I bring it back to Rumspringa. Like, yes, maybe you understand what an iPhone is and, like, some of the base functions that it has, but all of a sudden you go on Rumspringa and, like, you want to go to the store and start a Instagram account, like, you want to get a phone and start an Instagram account, you're going to be like, what the fuck is happening?
See, I don't think that that's true. I think that, I think about when I started my Instagram account when I was 18, and I think it's a pretty similar experience.
Because before you turned 18, you understood what Instagram was. You had friends that had Instagram.
Okay,
you were close to it.
Fair.
You and especially us, because
but it's not like it's a crazy concept to grasp.
But if you've never experienced technology at the place that it is now with AI and, the constant information overload, being exposed to that at full access for the first time is a crazy fucking thing.
Sure.
And that's why I'm like, so they know that it exists and they have base understandings of it, but then when you like again, then when you go, if you go on Rum Spring and then you go back to being Amish, like, is your mind not like? Are they just like, yeah? They never think about that again. That's fascinating.
Well, I mean, it's a person by person basis. You know, I mean, I don't know the statistics, but from what I hear, most of the Amish folks who go on Rumspringa end up just going back to the Amish community whenever they're ready. That was
how I started this. Yeah.
And yeah, I think part of that is because like it's you know, it's what they know. It's who they are. Like that's where their family is. I don't think that's a big problem.
I don't.
I think
I'm
that's
not saying it's a problem.
well, not a problem.
But
I'm saying like I don't think that you'll necessarily miss it if you are an Amish
more
person,
so
you
the
go
point
back.
that the point was that I think you were trying to devil's advocate a little bit from the jump is we are so connected. And I know again people are like sometimes too connected, and we have so much access to information, and there's a group of Amish people that live in the middle of it that know it exists, but they don't, to me, probably don't have a full understanding of it. And like because of that constant information that we get, it's like that's, you know, like, can I ask a potentially dumb question?
Of course.
So like, you know how there's like that like sovereign citizen thing?
Sure.
So like our Amish people still considered U.S. citizens in that sense?
I think so. I think it's like so I like I said, I just had my roof done by these Amish guys, and I had to mail them a check, and I looked at where they like lived on the map, and it seems like again, I honestly have no idea. It seems like a similar situation to like a reservation. Like they have their own, you know,
space,
territory, basically.
So
I can't remember what.
So
there was a
not,
term. I don't remember what it was, but it was like this is different. This is different land. Yes. Are you looking up Amish land laws? Ay caramba.
So this is what they have: an arm's length relationship with the government and often seek exemptions for certain civic responsibilities based on their religious beliefs.
Like taxes.
Well, they do pay various taxes, including income and property and sales taxes.
That sucks.
They have an exemption from Social Security taxes as they believe in caring for their own community members instead of relying on government aid.
That's cool.
They are citizens. They generally do not vote in elections. However, some may vote in local elections. So they,
wow.
Yeah. So like this is again why I'm just trying to. That's why I said like think about it, because there's a lot of things that maybe people, I don't know, maybe people just don't think about to what I said to you, because you're just like, oh yeah, they're Amish, and I'm like,
they are.
I think about this is how my brain works. I'm like, I need to understand.
Works is a strong word.
See, here you go again with the slander.
Sorry.
That could have been such an educational discussion, and instead it turned into.
I don't know if. Okay, sorry.
100%. There could have been so much more fact finding that needed to be done, but instead you decided to take it to the place of let's poke fun at Matthew.
No,
you have no knowledge of the Amish community either.
What do you mean? I've got. I just told you I got my roof done by them.
So but again, that brings up another question. So you sent a check. So the Amish have bank accounts.
At least one Amish person has a bank account. That, yes, can confirm.
See, I'm surprised. I feel like the Amish would operate in all cash. Because
that's funny.
You're not using a debit.
What's the difference?
You're not using a debit card. You're not using a credit card. So that means you'd always have to go to the bank. And you're not using online banking, so you're always going to the bank to.
I mean, that's what people did in the 90s.
This is why I said earlier that even from 30 or 50 years ago to now, the difference in the two societies is so different, and it's fascinating. That's why I wanted to understand.
Okay, I hear a little more about what you're saying. I hear a little more every time around.
Disrespectful.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Disrespectful.
I'm trying to
You're
be. I'm trying to
disrespecting
be opposite of
We spent
disrespectful.
20 fucking minutes talking about Amish people.
That ain't on me.
You didn't want it.
That
You
ain't
didn't,
on
no,
me,
it is
brother.
because I had to run in circles to get to a point that you could have just understood from the beginning. If you had done what I said, which is sleep on it.
You
'cause it'll fuck
wanted me
you
to.
up.
You wanted me to count Amish guy. You wanted me 1 Jebediah, 2
See,
Jebediah.
that's
as I fall asleep.
That's small-minded. That's offensive. That's offensive. I'm out here trying to understand their culture, and you just want to slander it.
I'm
That's
not
fine.
trying to slander a damn thing.
Yeah. Hope their their
I'm just saying it's
their
not-
roofing job was good.
it
That's all
was- it
you
was
care.
great.
That's all you care about. Yeah. Their quality of work.
It was great. It was excellent. No.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, it's not. I don't think.
I know, it's fine.
But it's not like Amish people don't. Like I said, it's not like they don't know what the internet is.
I know, but I
don't mean to start talking in circles like
no,
that. But that's
again,
where I'm coming from.
But that's part of that curiosity they have is they have some understanding of it because so. And there's another dumb question: all Amish kids are homeschooled?
No,
Or
they have
have
schools.
their own schools.
Yeah, in their towns.
Okay. Yeah, so they have their own. They're set, but like
being Amish is
this
not like
was
being,
one of the thoughts that I had was like
Uh-huh.
if you were an Amish, like if you were Amish and you were going to, high school, like we went to high school and you had to take like the trig exam, like you got to rock that no calc? You're going no calc on the exam?
You use
So-
an abacus.
Yeah, so an analog calc.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going analog calc.
Or you can have your neighbor use the calculator for you. Just hold it up for you. So you're not
Hopefully you got a
actually
smart
pushing the
neighbor.
buttons. Yeah, I guess that's true. Now,
But like then that's another thing. Like math in general, no
Mhm.
calc.
I mean,
out on.
people.
I know there's people
Okay.
out there, but like not me. So they're learning all math at those schools. They're just raw dogging it all.
You gotta.
Because like
Raw dogging
really
that math.
outside of long division, and maybe some equations here or there. Like
Can you do long division?
yeah,
I was just trying to do it last night. I was literally like trying. I was
it
literally
would
trying to
take
do
me a
long
second
division
to
in
get
my head.
Started if
I
like if you
cannot
handed me a long,
remember.
I could do.
I can't remember. You know the
The
how do I
box.
describe it? The box. Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
It kinda-
half rectangle
Yeah.
with the
It
number
kinda looks
inside
like the
and
square
number.
root thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I think it is the square root thing. If you're thinking about it. No, that doesn't make
No.
any sense. Forget that. That's not math. But I was trying to raw dog long division last night, and I couldn't do it. Literally, I remember the day that my teacher brought in the overhead projector to start teaching us long division, and I remember that day being like, I'm not going to remember any of this. And on the school bus home, like, it was out of my mind. We learned it, and like hours, minutes later, it was like, I don't know how to do this. I'll never know how to do it. I think about it all the time because I'm a little embarrassed by it, which I don't even know if that's not even how they do division anymore.
No, I don't think they're rocking it like we
So who
used to.
cares?
Yeah.
I don't know. Not me, sister.
But maybe I'm getting a little apocalyptic here now, but there's something to be said about knowing how to do some of that stuff
Sure.
because if one day everything goes dark, dude, if one thing listen, I'm not saying the Amish people are wishing ill will towards
Of course
us,
not.
but if one day things go dark, I mean they're gonna be sitting back like this. Yep.
Not even gonna know.
Yep. Yeah. No, they'll know because we'll come a knocking.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Please,
Well,
please,
that's
Amish, help us.
That's a thing.
Amish,
if
give us
anything,
some cows.
If anything, that's a comforting thought because it's like, yeah, I think during COVID, I remember being so scared of the electrical grid going down. There was like talk about that, and I was like, oh God, if that happens, what's gonna happen? We'll just churn our own butter.
So
no, what's the
yes
difference?
and no. The problem is that, and here's kind of the thing, like, and maybe this is not true, but I'm just taking a guess at this.
Uh-huh.
Like, the Amish lifestyle is somewhat codependent, I would assume, on our lifestyle.
Well,
because
at this
again,
point, sure.
their
You can't escape the global economy.
Well, exactly. Their income is, based on services that they provide
and
for
goods.
us, services and goods that they provide for us that we can pay for because we have, jobs that revolve around the need for technology and everything like that. Now, so if all of that goes dark, we don't have any money to buy things from them, then they also have no money. And then, they are probably more sustainable than us in a lot of senses.
Yeah, but then eventually you break that down. Money, you just start trading pelts, right? It becomes a barter system. You just go break it down to that.
You can't barter your NFTs when
but you could barter your Bills
dark.
jersey if it's made out of quality material
Yeah,
that'll
but
keep you warm.
There's gonna be no NFL, so
that doesn't matter. The material
material
matters. Yeah, it doesn't matter whose name's on the back. Yeah,
I got
as long
some
as it
quality
keeps you
stuff.
snug at night.
I
exactly.
got some good stuff I could barter.
Yeah, you can barter. You barter anything, man.
Imagine, dude, I'm gonna start keeping all my drill batteries charged, just in case. Because imagine, I have one of the only.
You don't keep your drill batteries charged?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I charge them
That's
after
just
I
good
use
practice.
them, but I don't leave. It's not. You're not supposed to leave lithium batteries plugged in overnight.
You don't got to tell me.
So
I know all about the lithium batteries.
Charge them and then I unplug them.
Yeah.
So imagine you're dude, I have the last Ryobi 40-volt battery with charge in the entire
King of
world.
Kings. You're freaking
I
Darius.
could barter that for some serious ka-ching.
But what are they? Yeah, I guess so. I make more. God, our land has more holes.
And yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'm talking about goods and services. Look this up actually because I want to show you the video. No, look it up on the laptop. The passcodes.
It's our old address.
Hold on, I gotta put on the. Because there's this thing I want to show you, and I don't want to have to put the video in later or explain it.
All right, I'm low. This computer is just crawling. Why don't we should get in here? This is live. This is how we ideate. We should get a TV that we can Chromecast to, or cast. AirDrop cast, whatever you call it.
I hate the Chromecast.
Find me later. Yeah, I mean it's come a long way from the old days. They got different ways to cast now.
Yeah, potions.
They got a lot of different ways to cast.
Potions, spells. Yeah, this
All
thing
right.
is slow. Sorry about that. Sorry about
What
that.
am I looking up?
Look up Neo, Neo, robot. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay,
What am I
so
looking for?
this is the first. I mean, that's it. You can click on.
This? You want me to watch the video, or you want?
What
do you want me to
Click
do?
on that. Click on the WOAI thing there.
This one.
Yeah, click on that.
So
So
housekeepers for $20K can clean a person's home, do laundry, etc.
yeah, so this robot, this is the first humanoid robot for the house. And if they have the video, it shows it bringing in your groceries and
See
I
that?
don't know, handing you things.
See, I my initial instinct was I'm in, but I'm actually out.
I think it's just kind of freaky. I don't really. Yeah,
and also,
it's
I
that-
fucking hate that they say this.
the
Price
ter-
at $20,000, Neo comes equipped with numerous security features to prevent any Terminator scenarios, according to X1. You want to know what that means? That they're not 100% certain that there's not going to be a Terminator scenario. Because if they were, they wouldn't need to say that.
Why would you? And they are they're very strong, these robots. But I'm not too concerned about a Terminator situation.
You know what? I'll tell you right now. Only 5'6". Not scary.
That is not that tall for a robot.
That was a.
Can
Whoever had that idea is a genius. Dude, we can't make this robot 6 foot. Because then people are going to be like, oh, this is a big robot.
Dude.
5'6". I mean, that's pretty much a child.
6'4" robot?
That's what I mean.
Dude, I'm bringing in that thing's groceries. If you scroll down, see if you can find. I guess this is just some news channel talking about it. But there's a little video from the guy.
This computer sucks.
Well, anyways, there's this video of the guy who runs the company or whatever, presenting Neo the robot,
Yeah.
and
1X.
he is a scary looking man.
Yeah, his whole computer's just frozen right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. That's what happens. You know, this is an old timey computer. Remember when you playing a video on a computer was like touch hit or miss. It was like, this is either gonna play or we're not gonna have internet for a couple of days. Let me see if I can just pull this up then. Oh wait, I'll find it. So I don't know. Listen, I hate to put this in this perspective, but I heard somebody talk about AI like this on a podcast once, and you know, it's just like it's moral slavery is what they're trying to do. It's like, how do you have something do everything for you for free, and you don't have to feel there's nothing bad about it. There's nothing like terrible or anti human about it. Oh God, that one.
Oh, we got an ad.
Don't worry about that.
Mute.
That picture. Well, I guess they'll show it, but okay. Here's Neo. Yeah, you could play it. It's not. It might. Oh, see, why do they want to do that? Okay, they're showing the Neo.
See, he's small.
Look at that guy. But that's the. What is it doing? It's talking to her?
Makes sense. Yeah, I don't.
It's looking really. He's looking really deep into that robot's eyes. Here's the thing.
So do you give it?
I mean, look at that. That's well built.
So do you give it commands like, "Hey Neo, take out the trash," and it does it?
Yeah. Now here's the thing.
How does it know where the trash is and where it goes?
It's a robot, man. It robots that stuff.
You got it.
It's got sensors.
These are the questions.
It's got sensors.
But how does it know? Like,
You go, okay, here's the trash. Maybe it's got a smell-o-vision.
Yeah, but then next thing you know, you yell downstairs, "Hey Neo, take out the trash," and you look outside and it's walking down the street with your cat by its tail.
Look, we're gonna lose a couple of pets in the process. That's part of progress, Matthew.
Neo.
That's technology. Here's the thing: they've made it look so asexual, but I mean, look at the way that guy looked at it in the commercial. This thing,
People are gonna be
they're
falling in
gonna
love
fuck
with
it
this robot.
so they're gonna fuck it so
I
fast.
don't think it has
Matthew,
a fuckable compartment. Maybe you think they built it a fuckable compartment?
no. But Matthew, if there's one thing I know
You
about
don't think
people,
Neo knows the "Hey, don't touch
Matthew.
me there. This is my no-no square"? Saying you don't think that's one of the safety.
I don't
features
think
on
it's.
him?
I don't think it's got a chip in there.
How
for that.
long do you think it takes for a AI robot to bring a human to court?
That is interesting. Well, I don't know. It depends on. Oh, that's tough. That is
like,
tough.
Ted couldn't sue because Ted technically wasn't
Because he was a
living
bear.
thing.
Yeah.
But these fuckers are gonna get smart quick. Dude,
yeah,
like
but,
AI in
but they're
general,
not gonna. But it depends on what they're learning too. Like they're learning these household things. They're not learning the nuances
but
of
that's
social
the thing.
structure.
You're sitting on the couch watching the news, or it walks by and you're reading the newspaper. Like it's going to pick up information.
Not
it's going to
necessarily.
learn.
Not really.
And I'm sure the way that it works is to your point, like you say, like, hey, here's where the garbage can is, whatever. It's going to start to like figure out how to. It has to have the ability to figure out how to problem solve on its own, or else it just wouldn't be functional. Because imagine, you have it for a year, but then you rearrange your living room and your garbage cans in a different spot. They're gonna have to retrain it.
Yeah, and you just show them this is where it is. And
Or
that's
like
where it is.
you have to vacuum in a different spot. Like, do you map it out like a Roomba?
Yeah, it's like a Roomba. I mean, Roombas already do that. So, what's the
I
difference?
know, but you can set a map on a Roomba. Like, hey, this
well,
is
you
the
set
area
a
to
map
vacuum.
on a Neo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then just get a Roomba.
Yeah, but you're not able to
I know,
look into
full-blown
those soulless Neo eyes and
Here's
try and feel something for the first time.
Can
in
I don't know if you
years, if you're being honest with yourself.
I don't know if you agree with this, and I am switching the topic somewhat intentionally a little bit now because Neo, there's too much going on with Neo. I'm not
20
ready
grand.
to talk.
There's a
Neo.
payment plan, by the way. You can pay $500 a month to put your Neo on layaway.
Honestly, 20 grand to say like to do all that, like that doesn't seem like a like it's not like it's $150,000 per
That's
Neo.
true.
You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
I'm not saying I could afford a Neo, but
Yeah.
there's like a lot of people out there that could find a way to get a Neo, I would assume.
They're so
Regardless.
creepy. Because I think a lot of
My
people.
thing is,
okay, sorry.
dude, AI like videos and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know like we'll set like the funny ones are like or the ones where like Stephen Hawking's on a half pipe and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
but they are by the day getting like significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were joking, and I think we've even said this before. Like he used to always be able to tell because stuff would be wrong. Like things would be visibly wrong, and now they're not so visibly wrong anymore.
Dude, somebody I know. Have you ever seen? There's a guy who did deep fake Tom Cruise. Do you know this guy?
No.
He's a guy who makes videos where he is Tom Cruise and it's a deep fake and it looks really, really good. Even a couple years ago, he was doing it, and whatever he had going on looked incredible. I know somebody who saw a video of of Paris Hilton and deep fake Tom Cruise. They didn't know it was deep fake Tom Cruise. They say to me, "Are Paris Hilton and Tom Cruise dating? Because they went to the Golden Globes together." I'm like, "No, they didn't, because that's not actually Tom Cruise. It's good." The thing is, I don't know, technology, you worry about it at a certain point, but
I'm not worried about it.
I'm not
just
worried
pointing
about
out
it
the fact.
either. Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, like I don't lose sleep over that, but I am on the board of people where I'm like, okay, some of this is useful, some of this just seems absolutely unnecessary.
Well, sure, but I mean that's one of, I think, the best things about technology as a whole is that that's sure, it's you can use it for really dumb stuff, but that's kind of the beautiful, perfect thing about it.
But my problem is that people aren't like this even goes back to the math thing. Like we're so, and again, I'm not an anti-AI technology person, so because I don't think like most people are this example, but there's too many dumb people out there that are going to stop living their own. Like, to me, if you are either like a successful like person or like whatever, and like you are paying somebody else to do your laundry and your cleaning and stuff like that, like that's fine. But that means it's because you're doing something else. Like to me, there's too many, like, I don't know the term, and it's probably not right, but like, I think of like a cartoon of like a fat creepy guy that sits on his keyboard 25 hours a day playing like World of Warcraft or something with Cheeto dust on his fingers, like the guy from Toy Story, like like that, and like they just spend all their savings on a Neo X1X robot or whatever, so that they can just be lazy and fat. And
sorry, okay.
And then
Keep
you
going,
then you start getting into that Wall-E type.
I know, but
world.
You know what? Physical health is one thing, but things just change, and there are a lot of people out there who. Let me backtrack. I'm getting too ahead of myself. Your point makes sense, but it's through a very American lens and through a very like current state of the world lens.
Yes.
Well, we were always, hard work. If you're not working, you're lazy. But
No, but I don't agree with that.
Okay.
But I'm saying like there is a sector of people that are too lazy.
Well, I think that really comes down. I think that's really relative. And with the people who are, spending all their time playing games or spending money on games and stuff like that, whatever.
Games was that's not necessarily the exact example.
But whatever it is.
Yeah.
Before technology got to the point where it is now and where it's going to go, who knows what kind of lives those people might have been forced to lead. If it was like super lonely or like weird. I don't know. What I'm saying is there's the way that society kind of agrees we all should live, and then there's the reality to each individual of what it's actually like to live.
No, and I agree with that, but again, I'm not talking about people who I'm not saying that everybody has to do a certain thing and should not rely. Like, here's a perfect example. Like, a robot like that is great for, like, the fact that that technology exists is great for, maybe elderly people who live alone and, don't have either other family members who can help them do things like that, or somebody with some type of disability or something like that. Or again, the problem isn't like anybody could have it. The problem isn't like, oh, I'm saying somebody like you or I shouldn't have that. What I'm saying is, like, you get that, and then you are now relinquishing all of your responsibilities to a robot, and then it's like you start doing less and less of like things that you have to do to live and be a part of society. That's literally the entire movie WALL-E.
Yeah, but I think in a lot of ways WALL-E is like worst case scenario in some ways. I think that there's a big part of that, again, based on like our current perception of society and, again, like physical health. But if I'm somebody who, for whatever reason, if it's financial or whatever, I have the option to let this robot do everything that I don't want to do.
It's not so much about letting the robot do things you don't want to do. It's in turn, then what are you still doing for yourself?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, but there's a big but that's what I'm focused on. I'm not worried about what the robot's doing. I'm worried about like, okay,
but they blend into each other, those two things, then, in this situation.
Kind of, but I'm saying like the WALL-E example is like, okay, it's fine if you have the robot because you want to have more time to do other things, but if those things are like sit on a couch and become 700 pounds, like that's not.
Again, it's interesting that we have such a view of the physical health on this.
Yeah, because there's a huge correspondence between like.
Yeah, but is it if I am physically healthy and have some way of, maybe the medical science gets to this point where I have some way of I'm still physical healthy, and I do just want to sit and watch TV. And heck, maybe I don't want to talk to anybody. Maybe I have different ways of communicating with people, like texting someone, even if we're not in the same room, watching the same show. Is that wrong?
No, but there's a certain level of productivity that is required for.
But what if there wasn't, though?
Civilization. Then you're in a WALL-E scenario. That's what I'm saying. If all of a sudden we didn't have to do anything and we just had AI robots to do all of our things, then nobody is a functioning member of society.
Well, I think that what society is changes then in that situation.
Yeah, but I don't think it in that situation changes in a good light. Like if nobody had to get up and go to work, and I'm not saying that's for everybody. People have, and again, I think now more than ever, the definition of like get up and go to work is extremely fluid. Your job, like work is not what it used to be where it's confined to you have a set industry and that's your career path and you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever the case may be. Like you could do whatever you want, but you still have to do stuff to make society revolve. Like if all of a sudden nobody has to do anything anymore and you're just relying on robots to do everything, then like what happens to society? It evolves not for the better.
Well, I think that potentially if you have robots doing every task, I think potentially you have people who will focus all of their time on developing more interesting art and philosophy and things like that. And again, just a different society just develops in a different way.
But with what motive? And then how does that continue to progress society?
Interesting. What creatively? And also, and like, you know, different ways of perceiving ourselves and what it means to be a person, what it means to live in a society, quote unquote.
Okay, so I literally Sunday watched the movie Ready Player One.
Uh-huh.
Like, again, so I guess I can understand your point about society taking on a different form, but there's still, to me, things that, and again, this could just be the way that I view society, but like, again, if everybody stops doing what they're doing and puts it goes back to the like financial aspect of it. Okay, then when we were talking about the Amish people, so like what becomes, our,
currency?
Yeah.
What becomes valuable changes then, right?
Yeah. But so how do you want to go to a grocery store. And again, you're probably not even going to the grocery store yourself in this instance. You're sending your robot to go to the grocery store. So what are they exchanging in order for you to get your groceries? Is it money? Then how are you making money if you're not doing it? If you're not doing anything, you're just relying on robots to do something.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's where we start to get into like the capitalism, socialism shit, basically. I think.
Yeah, we don't.
Maybe that's where we were the whole time.
Well, if you want it to go political, but then again,
no, but I think it just inherently ends up.
No, I agree.
Political.
But then you start.
But again, maybe what we determine as political changes, I don't know. Now,
because
just in this
again,
loop
like
of these
it comes back to society and civilizations. Like then you start to see the downfall of civilizations. Like you look at us as a group, and again, like we look at our history as like U.S. history, and obviously when you're in school, you learn a little bit before that. But look at when you look at things like everybody learns about like the Roman Empire or whatever, and you're like, how did that possibly collapse, right? Like, how did the Roman Empire possibly collapse? To me, what you're talking about and the way that society could potentially change with, the use of robots and AI and shit would be eventually the answer in a history book to, like, how did modern day society in this age of information, how did it end up collapsing? Well, because everybody stopped doing stuff and started relying on AI robots.
That's interesting. Because we do keep talking about like the change in society, but I guess like
for as much as there's still things that need to be improved in the world, and like as much as people will say that things are not good, like generally speaking, I think.
People. For example, people are living longer than they ever have.
Yeah,
right?
Society's probably in a better place than it was 500 years ago.
Right. And just the nature of structures is that they do collapse and things get changed.
Yeah, and there's usually,
I don't want to say that Rome needed to collapse.
No, but there's usually something I would again, and it's hard to know because they collapse, but
I guess
there's usually something there's usually something you can look at that's like the downfall of society.
Right.
And to me, that if you're going to start again, not that this 1X is the answer, but it's a stepping stone to starting to rely on AI-powered robots for everything.
But the downfall. Let me go on this. Let me heat check real quick.
All right.
The downfall. One society's downfall is the thing that builds up another society. For example, let's take it all the way back to like the wheel,
Mm-hmm.
right? One society develops the wheel. Let's say there's like a triangle of societies. There's 3 societies.
Mm-hmm.
This society up top, they've got all the corn. This society here invents the wheel. This society doesn't. They're able to now trade way faster over here, and this society
Dies
collapses.
out.
Yeah. So to them, the wheel destroyed their society, but
I
to
know,
these,
but-
it pushed society further and developed a whole new society.
Is those were different societies geographically because they didn't have, before the wheel was there, they didn't have. Now you can communicate with, the world is essentially one society. There's different pockets, right? Like there's different cultures and civilization. But essentially, there, because of the way that we're connected through technology, everybody's connected. So it's
right,
not,
but we're also honestly, I think that it's still kind of the same thing. Like these 3 societies are still connected, but now there's, a million societies,
Yeah.
whatever it is. And even though we're all connected, some are going to collapse, and then it's just the triangle is going to look more like a blob. I think if you break down everything we said, there's something there that is correct, but maybe we should stop before we get too far ahead of ourselves.
yeah.
And I guess it's time to go already.
We got to do the Hoover of the Week.
Amish, AI. I mean, covering both ends of the spectrum here, brother. And now making the final one. What do you got?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you.
The Who Would Win of the Week this week is Bob Dylan versus Kermit the Frog. Finally.
Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog, hey, why are there so many songs about rainbows?
So
Dude, that's why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on
the
the other
only
side?
reason that I've agreed to do this Who Would Win of the Week is because you had a great Bob Dylan costume for Halloween.
Hey, maybe Bob Dylan could show up. Maybe he could make an appearance on the show sometime. I would very much like
And the
that.
harmonica was a great touch. Did you? You were pretty good at the harmonica. Have you had that skill, or did you have to put in a little work?
Dude, so here's what happened. The Bob Dylan movie with Timothy Chalamet, Complete Unknown, started streaming on Amazon it was probably January when I watched it. I bought it on there.
January.
Well, it came out in December of last
been out
year.
for that long?
Yeah, came out Christmas last year. So January,
Really?
I buy it, watch it.
Damn.
The next day, I buy that harmonica.
Did you buy the neck thing that day too?
Oh
or-
yeah, well you have to.
So then you're doing a little bit of practice. ever
I was
since.
playing a lot in like the spring, and then I haven't played since March, except for like the week leading up to Halloween. I was like, shit, I gotta brush up on this stuff. So that bang bang boom. But really, I mean, I don't want to put myself down or anything, but like I was faking my way through a lot of that, which I guess is maybe a skill in itself. But if Timothy Chalamet heard my renditions, he would be like, okay, you're swimming with the stream on those ones. You know what I mean? But I would love it if you would interview Bob Dylan sometime. Maybe you could make an appearance on the show.
So, into the fight itself, Kermit the Frog. Can I feel like I want to say that Bob Dylan's kind of a bitch.
Ooh, I don't know. Bob Dylan.
He's
really skinny, and yeah, he seems like kind of a quiet, humble, mumbly dude. But like I've seen videos where he like freaks out on people.
Yeah, well, because he's very
volatile.
opinionated.
Yeah, opinionated, sure.
Yeah, like that's most of what his music is right. Like
the old stuff.
Yeah.
But also everybody was doing that in the 60s,
Yeah.
right?
But here's my thing, and maybe I'm getting too literal with it, but to me, as much as I want to say that Bob Dylan is a bitch, even with him being slightly skinny, if Kermit strangles people. I think I've seen before.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that too. He's a strangler. He's a bit of a strangler.
But also maybe I'm thinking of the guy strangling the other guy. Beaker gets strangled a lot, doesn't he?
Mm-mm.
How do
He
I
just
feel like
messes.
he
He
gets
just
strangled?
he gets himself in a situation. But Dr. Bunsen Honeydew has never laid a finger on Beaker. I'm
Maybe
saying that.
Just thinking Bart Simpson getting strangled
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time by Homer. But if Kermit got his hands on Bob Dylan, even with how scrawny Bob Dylan may be, I don't know that he's inflicting any damage whatsoever.
Well,
Whereas if Bob Dylan got his hands on Kermit, even though he is scrawny, like he could just essentially rip his limbs off.
Kermit does get tossed around a lot. Like Miss Piggy, Miss Piggy throw him out a window.
Like even some of the best stitches out there can be ripped.
That's a beautiful
Kermit's
thing.
arms, the advantage that Bob Dylan has is the tendons, the muscles, the bone, all of that stuff. Even some of the vessels we can throw in there that hold his body together. Kermit is just a couple stitches, and then it goes right back to stuffing.
But he's a lot more than that.
And I feel like I'm just picturing getting your
Jesus
hands on
Christ.
Kermit and just ripping both his arms off.
That's terrible.
Listen, it's life or death here, Andy.
Kermit, when you watch the Muppets, it's a lot of like Kermit having to calm down Miss Piggy. But Kermit, don't forget this. Kermit's the leader of the Muppets. And when they start getting out of order, Kermit fucking snaps. And he's a master of frog foo or something. There's like some martial art that they've got that he's a master of.
Foo.
And I really think that Bob Dylan is not ready to match that energy that Kermit is bringing to the fight.
But I think Kermit gets a couple slaps and kicks on Bob Dylan's face, and I don't think he's delivering a ton of damage. And then even if Bob Dylan's not ready, he probably, to your point, can be like a little volatile and just be like, I'm fucking sick of this stuffed frog slapping me, and just
somebody get a handle.
shred the fucker.
Somebody get a handle on this green cat, man.
Yeah, just
Kermit's
shred
like,
the
I'm a
fucker.
frog.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
that's
was
right.
pretty good.
I can do them both. I can do it
Yeah,
both.
that was
I'll just act out this fight right now. Ready? Kermit and Bob Dylan fighting each other. It might sound a little something like this. That's an old joke. Anyways, it might sound a little something like this. Hey, what's that green guy doing over there? Oh, why don't you mind your own goddamn business there, butter? Hey, hey, you don't get me tongue like that. Scrooby the scrap. Like, oh, you want to scrap? I'll scrap with you. And then they start fighting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty excellent. I'm sure people will love that. All right.
I'm taking Bob Dylan.
Oh, this is really tough for me. I know Kermit's a Muppet.
He's literally a stuffed animal with a hole in his ass, so that somebody can work his mouth.
Hey. What are we? What are we, brother? You tell me that. You tell me that after the conversation we just had. What are we? We're just a bunch of holeless Neos full of holes, man. That's all we are. Fuck. I'm picking Kermit. Kermit.
No integrity.
My integrity, man. He's got the kung fu. He's Kermit. I don't know. I guess the maybe he doesn't have a lot of momentum behind his punches, but I think he would get Bob Dylan to tap. I'm not saying he'd beat him to death, but I think Dylan would tap, and bam, that's how I'm taking Kermit.
Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win in the week? Bob Dylan versus Kermit the Frog. 1-1 split. We'll see what the people say. Andy, we got to wrap up.
Yep.
Good epi.
Yep.
Shout out to the Amish people.
Shout out to him. Shout out
not
to Neo.
shout out. No, not shout out to
Shout out to Neo.
Shout out to all our Amish listeners. Shout out to all our Neo listeners.
Ooh.
Andy, I love you.
I love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.